is Valley News Live at 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. Moorhead police are continuing to search for the suspect in what's believed to be a robbery turned homicide early this morning. Police were called just after 3:30 to the 3000 block of 20th Street South for a single car crash. But when officers arrived, they say they found a male taxi driver dead in the driver's seat. Friends and family say the victim is only 24 years old and was a hardworking man trying to provide a better life for his family.
He was telling me how he was, out there, grinding for his family, trying to feed his family and do things to help his family out.
Now, Stacey, I'm here just across the street is where that taxi cab and that taxi cab driver were found earlier this morning. But where I'm standing right now, this is an apartment parking lot, and this is where what appeared to be a second crime scene was set up earlier this morning. Yellow crime scene tape like this was taped up around the parking lot, and several Moorhead police investigators were here processing the crime scene, taking photos and collecting evidence. But at this point, Stacey, Moorhead police have not been able to confirm with us if this crime scene is connected to the one right across those railroad tracks. But Stacey, I've also been in contact with many of those friends and family of the victim, and they tell me that he was only 24 years old, and they say it was his passenger who tried to rob him and then shot and killed him. But Stacey, again, that's another detail that Moorhead police have not been able to confirm with us. So as for if this parking lot is where that passenger was picked up before that fatal interaction happened, that is still a question we do not have answers to as of this hour. Of course, we will continue to keep you updated. For now, live in Moorhead, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Bailey, thanks so much. If you have any information on this case, you're urged to call the number on your screen, 701-451-7660. Now, here's Hutch with a first look at your forecast. Hutch.
Stacey, thanks so much. After morning flakes and showers are exiting down to the south, where things have been cooler today, we're seeing another round of showers press through the Devil's Lake, moving into the Highway 2 corridor right now, 200 corridor, I should say. And those showers producing, from time to time, lightning. So you might hear a rumble of thunder as he's passing toward Jamestown and moving in towards the Hope area, as well as the Findlay area in the next 20 minutes or so. Temperatures coolest south in Sisseton. We have 40s, Oaks 40s, but mid 50s in Fargo, and Roseau also in the mid 50s. This evening we'll see cloudy skies. Wind won't be too bad. I cannot rule out showers as we go through the late evening here in Fargo, but those should exit as we go through the overnight. And there'll be clearing skies by bedtime tonight up north, which means cool temperatures already. Coming up, we'll have details on continued unsettled weather, and we'll have a look at that Mother's Day outlook here, Stacey, in just a few moments.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. A Fargo man has pled guilty to killing a teenager in Moorhead. 25-year-old Larry Evans was originally charged with murder, but that charge was changed to manslaughter as part of the plea deal. A charge of terrorizing was also dropped. On August 3rd, police responded to the 1100 block of West Drac Drive South, where 18-year-old Cameron Camacho was assaulted. Police say Evans, Camacho, and two other men were arguing over a drug deal. When Evans punched Camacho in the head, he passed away the next day. Police say a mechanical failure is to blame for a vehicle fire that broke out on I-29 this morning. A 22-year-old was driving from Grand Forks to Fargo when he noticed something wasn't right with his car. He stopped on the side of the road near Argusville. Everyone inside that car was able to get out before it quickly became engulfed in flames. Southbound traffic was reduced to one lane for an hour while crews cleared the scene. In Grafton, police are warning of a high-risk sex offender in the city. Martin Torres is living in the 700 block of Manville Avenue. He's convicted of child abuse. His record shows he had sexual contact with a young girl. He's also accused of solicitation of a minor for trying to lure children to his vehicle. Torres is considered a high-risk offender. A major vaccine milestone for Minnesota. 2 million Minnesotans have now completed their COVID vaccine series. Governor Tim Walz says it took 15 weeks to get the first million people fully vaccinated and only 5 weeks for the second million. Nearly 60% of Minnesotans 16 and up have at least gotten one shot. You can now get a COVID shot at CVS in Fargo and Grand Forks with no appointment necessary. This comes after the Biden administration ordered pharmacies to start offering walk-ins. Pharmacies were found to have thrown away more than 182,000 vaccine doses, with CVS accounting for half of them. The Biden administration is stepping up efforts to make getting the vaccine accessible for more Americans, especially in rural areas. As part of the push, the White House says FEMA will put more resources into pop-up and mobile clinics. Natalie Brand visited one in Maryland to see how it works.
targeting hard-to-reach areas.
I don't drive, so I had to wait for somebody to pick me
Not
up.
a problem, not a problem.
Okay.
We're just glad that you came.
Federal health officials are bringing the COVID-19 vaccine to communities where access can be a challenge.
I was eligible quite early, but I couldn't get it till now.
Ida Jeffries says this pop-up clinic in rural eastern Maryland is a blessing.
I appreciate it very much.
The mobile unit from FEMA delivers hundreds of shots, then packs up and heads to another underserved, under-vaccinated community.
These are people who have very negative outcomes if they get COVID. So every shot is literally saving a life.
FEMA's Craig Levy has worked in disaster response for decades.
Usually in our responses, we're not so directly saving lives.
This vaccination team traveled all the way from Phoenix, including EMT Cornell candidate.
To hear him say, I wanted to do it, but, some of the locations was too far. And now that you guys are here, we're able to get our family and friends. So that's pretty exciting.
Thomas Stokes and his pregnant wife Tricia say this site made it easy to finally get their shots.
Hopefully my baby's protected.
That's what we're doing it for.
Yeah.
For our kid.
First shot.
Are you nervous at all?
No.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
For Eric Roy, scheduling was the barrier.
When you work, it's hard to get it done because I drive truck and I'm on the road all the time.
Is it a relief?
Oh, man, definitely. No doubt about that. It's the first one. Now all I got to do is get the second one.
And the unit will be back to deliver that next dose. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Queen Anne's County, Maryland.
Minnesota has its own mobile vaccination clinic to travel across the state. The Department of Health transformed some underutilized transit buses by removing the seats and installing new equipment. That bus will vaccinate 100 people per day once it hits the road this summer. If you're looking for more options to get the vaccine, use our VNL vaccine tracker. It's on the homepage of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. A new CDC modeling study suggests the country could be through the worst of the pandemic by July, or faster if vaccination rates stay up and we continue to practice mitigation measures. The researchers examined the potential course of the pandemic in the U.S. based on 4 scenarios of vaccination rates and mitigation strategies. All of the models projected that cases would continue to rise in April and peak in May before declining in July. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says that vaccination is critical in preventing the disease from mutating and setting back the progress the global health community has made.
I think the fewer people that are vaccinated, the more disease will be out there. And with that, we have more virus replicating. The more virus that replicates, the more likely we will have variants. So again, more people vaccinated, less disease, less variants.
The study authors wrote that high vaccination coverage and compliance with the mitigation strategies are essential to control COVID-19. Essentia Health is offering a new program for COVID long haulers. The post-COVID rehabilitation program is for patients recovering from the disease, battling symptoms for months after contracting COVID. They can also refer you to specialists like neurologists, since many long haulers experience lingering cognitive issues. You can sign up for an appointment with the rehab program at the number there on your screen, 701-364-3000. An exhibit honoring Fargo's nurses is now on display at Bonanzaville. It's called A Salute to Nursing, Answering the Call. It documents the start of professional nursing in Fargo in 1901 all the way up to the pandemic. You can also see how nurses are involved in the armed forces and across the world, in uniforms, caps, and pins worn throughout the years.
Well, it is wonderful to chart the history and the progress that we've made. There is a section that talks about the evolution of nursing, and it is just so heartwarming to know that there has been progress made.
Bonanzaville is hosting a nursing appreciation reception on Friday to celebrate that exhibit. It's free for nurses and runs from 5 to 8 p.m. You can find more details on our website, valleynewslive.com. Just click on the story. A federal judge today struck down the national moratorium on evictions. A Washington, D.C. district court judge ruled the CDC's national eviction moratorium, aimed at helping victims of the pandemic hold on to their homes, exceeds the agency's authority. While Congress had ratified earlier extensions of the moratorium order, it had not done so for the latest extension, which expires on June 30th. It's still unclear what the immediate impact of that ruling will be. The Department of Justice has filed an appeal. North Dakota Job Service says unemployment numbers in the state are nearly back to pre-pandemic levels. Unemployment numbers usually dwindle slightly at the start of spring, but this year was different as people head back to work. Thanks to federal funds, Job Service is able to continue giving out benefits as soon as a claim is made. They say the claims are much more manageable now compared to the influx they received at the beginning of the pandemic. During this Teacher Appreciation Week, students at L.E. Berger School came up with a creative way to celebrate their teachers. 400 students decorated cereal boxes with their teachers' faces on them, covered with kind words like helpful, brave, and impactful. 600 boxes were lined up and down the hallways and knocked over like dominoes as students, staff, and teachers cheered them on. The students say they wanted to show their teachers how much they mean to them.
I really appreciate my teachers because they're really fun and they keep me safe, and yeah, they're just really nice and helpful. Yeah.
All of those cereal boxes are being donated to the Great Plains Food Bank.
So go home. We love you. You're very special.
Coming up, former President Trump banned from Facebook and Instagram for another 6 months. We'll explain the precedent this sets right after the break.
This morning, the radar showed some showers, even some flakes passing through, and well, indeed, there were some flakes passing through. Check this out. Thanks, David, for uploading the video in slow motion of those big flakes. Your forecast still looks cool. I'll have details right after this.